being a content creator is so flippin' exhausting. It is completely a rat race. So if I can validate this experience to you at all, I would love to. Every single person I've ever worked with, talked to about content creation has felt this in some way, shape, or form multiple times, usually for like long lengths of time, in different seasons of their life. I so making like making this video reply, people are going to watch this video. This situation going on here of like posting everywhere on social media has become exhausting, or is exhausting. And one of the reasons that it feels exhausting is inevitably when a post doesn't do well, which that is totally normal. If I can validate that too, like your content is going to have a wide range of engagement and reach, and that's going to look different in different seasons of your life and different seasons of your creativity, across different platforms, and it's going to look completely different for you than it is to another creator. Like it is totally a unique experience, creator to creator to creator. What I want to share with you is, like, if we were sitting together on a one-on-one strategy call, I want to share with you the things that I would be curious about, or the directions that I might lead us down, if this is something that you are looking for like support with. And I'm saying you, like, general audience, not like just this individual person. But the reason I want to share that is because what I hope it can do, other than just like giving you some things to think about if it's helpful, more so what I want it to do is validate to you that you're not doing anything wrong. Like, you are not a problem. You are not like insufficient. You're not a bad creator. You're not doing anything wrong. You are doing the best you can at something that is really flippin' hard, and demands way more of us than is reasonable, on top of all the other things that it takes to be an entrepreneur, a creative, and just like a human living in this world and this economy. So if I had someone sitting across from me, these are the things that I would want to get to know about, or these are the things that I would want to hear them like talk through with me. So, like, invitation for you to do this on your own, just to see if anything comes up. And if you want to drop anything in the comments, you can let me know. Again, I'm saying that generally, not to like just this human. Okay, so if someone said, I'm exhausted posting everywhere on social media, especially if the post doesn't do well. So there's two things that I would separate out here. I would want to ask the person, how do you define a post not doing well? What does it mean? What does it feel like to you to have a post not do well? What does that look like? How are you defining that? Because that is like, the answers for that could be so varied, and like the metrics of social media can be so arbitrary. And also, what you're using social media for is different and unique from person to person to person. So I often find that something that I end up doing with all of my clients is we get really clear on what are the different purposes that your content has. And like we usually list out like several different purposes. So like a purpose of one form of your content might just be for you to have fun. Another purpose of one of your forms of content might be for you to inform people about an offer that you have. Another purpose might be to share, an easy strategy or tip with your audience that they can then implement. Like, purposes, getting kind of explicit on like what are specific purposes of individual pieces of content can really help with it can help with a lot of things. But in this situation, one of the reasons that I would be unpacking that is because it can help with narrowing down the list of all the things that we expect one piece of content to do, because one piece of content cannot do all of the things that content in general can do on social media for our accounts and for our businesses and things like that. If you go into one piece of content with like a specific, like, I am making this piece of content to accomplish the goal of X, usually, again, this is general and this would be like super individualized depending on the creator and their business that was in front of me. But if you're able to have like a specific goal with a post, you are usually able to accomplish that in some way, shape, or form to some degree, regardless of how many likes it got, regardless of how many saves it got or whatever. Like, being able to feel that sense of like, okay, this post did something, it moved the needle even just a smidge, can help with not feeling just like this overwhelming and unrealistic and unfair expectation and pressure to have amazing content that goes viral every single day, or have amazing content that like changes the world every single day, or have content that blows up your business and blows up your account and, you know, gets all these comments and engage. Like, being able to kind of whittle down our expectations so that post to post to post, we can keep it much more reasonable and like just fair on us, and the individual piece of content can help with sort of like decreasing that pressure a little bit. So that's like that's one big conversation that I would have with someone. My dog. That's one big conversation that I would have with someone about this. The other conversation I would have would be about the posting everywhere. You know, how is that feeling? Does, like, in what ways does that feel functional and what ways does it not? Which parts of posting everywhere actually feel, you know, in some way, shape, or form like creative or fun or entertaining or expansive to you, and which ones feel like a chore, which ones feel like a drag, which ones really hold up the whole content creation process, because there are so many things that could be edited or shifted or dialed up or dialed down or reused in the like spreading of your content across platforms, to make it a simpler, more streamlined process by focusing on what is actually like the most functional, accessible for you, and then letting everything else kind of like fall into place after that, if that makes sense. So again, all of this would be so individualized based on who's in front of me, what their goals are for their business, what they're using social media for, and what feels like naturally and authentically creative and accessible for them, which also can change and fluctuate as your energy levels change, as your mental health changes, as your physical health changes. So like, it's okay and normal and expected for your answers to those questions to not be permanent. And that's like having kind of a check-in with yourself, you know, every so often, whatever that needs to mean or look like for you, can be a really good way of like kind of checking in with like, is the way that I've set up my content creation process, or is the way that I've set up something for your business still working for me, or are there more ways that I could do it that better support me in this current season of life? So yeah, so again, like all of these things, I want you to just like, if it is food for thought of ways that you can think about social media and content creation as something that you are not doing it wrong, you are not the problem. This is a really, really hard thing to do, and it's a really hard thing to do like for a long time over and over again, which is what is required to like grow an audience and build a business using social media. So if anything, if these like questions or prompts that like are examples of things that I would ask clients in front of me, if they help give you an invitation to just like validate what's true for you, and you know, start thinking about like how you want to check in with your content creation and social media processes in a way that I don't know, just gives you a little bit more grace, a little bit more compassion, a little bit more gentleness, because you deserve that, because this is really, really hard.